Good morning. I saw a mention of martial law in the comment section this morning, and I thought, well, where did you hear that? Where did you hear that martial law was implemented on June the 17th? And I just did one search. Of course, I'm not going to search all the way into it before doing this video, but I found it rather interesting that military.com would write an article and say everything you need to know about martial law. And one may say, well, it's just all hype. Is it all hype? Will we one day see martial law in the streets of the United States? I think that's a fair question to ask based on what's going on in the world. There's a lot of instability that is taking place in many facets of society. This was back in during Martin Luther King time, where it was implemented. Let me come over here and do this right here. And this will not be a popular video that the algorithm likes. It won't be. Brigida Creo, good morning. Rosie's downstairs and I'm upstairs. This is interesting. It really is. I want to show you. This is strange. This is the first time in months that when I've had only 21 concurrent viewers that a comment was allowed in, which is really strange, which is maybe they're trying to get the stuff straightened out. Maybe. You may be the only comment on here by yourself. You truly may be for quite a while. Let me come over to here. So I'm over here on military.com, and you can see that American military history. National Guardsmen. This is March of 2023. Why would they tell us everything that we need to know about martial law? Why throw that out there again? Really? Hello, K. Sierra Sarah. So we're going to come over here. What is martial law? While there is no universal definition, the term often refers to the use of military or law enforcement. But contrary to popular belief, simply calling up a federal or state military members to assist during times of national emergency, natural, or civil unrest is not necessarily the same thing as implementing martial law. Hold on one moment. I need a drink. Well, not specifically defined by the U.S. Constitution, many legal experts consider martial law to be the use of military personnel to dramatically assist or completely replace a nation's normal legal system in times of emergency. Whether any given use of the military rises to the level of martial law is tied to exactly how much military support or action is used. Under total martial law, the normal American law enforcement legal system is replaced by a stricter set of laws and punishment that is so completely controlled by the military or executive branch of the government. The normal checks and balances of the system built into the Constitution is suspended. Now, if you remember, Dr. Stephen Greer said it was around the 1950s early that the constitutional government of the United States was more or less nullified when it came to the deep state, the shadow government, and stuff like that. They were above the law. They were. And didn't matter. And we saw all of the a partial list of major crimes that has been taken by the deep state, for UFO and all this kind of stuff. They're above the law. They're untouchable. Good morning, everyone. Debated in legal discussion, martial law can also occur in stages without ever getting taken over by the military, a total takeover. Under the current U.S. law, the President, the Congress, or the local military commander may impose degrees of martial law under certain situations. Look, 6 times the martial law was declared under the Constitution was suspended. Who can declare it? The governor or a state. A state can declare martial law, or a governor. Let's see, limited emergencies, a local commander. When it is declared, it is governed by a series of law. Let me see if I can come back to the comment that spurred this topic, because I am going to see if I can find it. I'm going to come down to here. If they did not remove the comment, it's going to come down, because they spoke of a specific state. Okay. The military has pulled into California. Let's see, this is the comment. Martial law has took effect. Let's put proper grammar on it. Martial law has taken effect as of tonight on June the 17th. Military has pulled into California, Philadelphia, and 27 of the states. Martial law is in effect. And it will start Sharia. Ain't all the rest of the states get ready? The change is here. That's what they say. The change is here. So has anyone heard that PR1-ish, when you see the National Guard on Hollywood Boulevard, you know it's getting real. Is that really true? On Hollywood Boulevard? I don't know where Hollywood Boulevard is. I'm going to see if there's something into military. They could be doing exercises. They do exercises, you all. The military, I can't, my microphone's in the way. Military. How can one just assume military that martial law is declared when you just see some military vehicles, because they do exercises. Military in California. The arrests. Oh, Michael. See, if I come over here and I do this. Let's do the past week. Oh, okay, look at this. Okay, this is where it came from. So now we got into it right here. Viral video hypes fear of military movements in California. So let's see what this says on Forbes. Do I want to click into it? Let me do it. We can do it. I don't want to do it. I want to see what this is talking about. There is absolutely no reason. Military movements in California for absolutely no reason. Screenshots from a viral video. Are these Ospreys helicopters? You all look at this. Now they do use the streets to do their drills. About there's things on Hollywood Boulevard. Have you seen the video going viral about military movements in California, trying to suggest that some kind of war against everyday Americans is about to take place? The hype is completely manufactured nonsense. Listen how this article is written. Since when do you have a news outlet using the word, this right here, completely manufactured nonsense? Does that sound like a professional type of writing an article like that? I've not seen a comment in like professional papers that the hype is completely manufactured nonsense. That doesn't even sound, it doesn't sound professional. It sounds really, I don't like that sentence at all. Good morning, Applebrooks, honey. And experts, James Wick, when they reach Florida, let me know. Otherwise, don't waste my time. I can help you right now. There. You will never, let me tell you something. You will never have to waste your time on this channel by typing a comment anymore, James Wick. The hype is completely manufactured nonsense. And experts say the kinds of military aircraft pictured are normal for any presidential visit or something that's happening in Northern California next week or this week. It has been shared on Twitter by a verified account. It's not a drill. Breaking news, the military landing in suburban neighbors. Massive military movements being reported in multiple states. Anyone have more information on this? Please see the link below. All right. Hipsy Gypsy Honey, you so welcome. Gina Honey can do it. No, you're not going to come down here and do a speaking down to me comment this early in the morning because I'm going to push that button and that's all that's going to happen. Let's see this, you all. I think I might want to put the things on here so you can hear it too. Okay, it's already done, so I can just push that button. We want to hear about it. Well, the military, this is from military.com, this article. They felt the need for you to know everything you needed to know about martial law, and it's a very long article, and it covers practically everything. Why do you need to know about it? If we are in nothing going on here, why do you need to know everything about it? Really? Well, you're welcome, Chris. You're so very welcome. Let's push this video button. We can do it. We're going to do it. That is not normal, you all. It's not. Scaring children. So if you're just tuning in, this is the viral video that captured these. I've not heard of something like this type of helicopter. We've seen the other ones like Black Hawk and stuff like that. There was a helicopter that was hovering, I don't know, sounded like it was just right above my tree line last month in one space, right by my garden area. Just hovering there. It was so loud. It was vibrating all over the place, the noise of it. Let's look at this again, you all. This is what it stems from. Okay, now we're going to screen down. We're going to move down on this, you all. So this is what it was. Military in a suburban neighbor. No, see, this is not normal. Suburban neighbors in Larkspur, California. And there has been, I've seen a lot of military vehicles. If I go out on the road to visit my mom or something, or run to town on 65 going They go southbound and they go northbound. Southbound toward Louisville, Kentucky area, across the river, northbound toward Indianapolis. But we do have Fort Knox that would be southbound, and there's a hub at the airport too. This is in preparation for a presidential visit next week. This is characteristically used for transporting staff, journalists, and security detail. Incredibly, the video has over 750,000 views on Twitter alone, and at the time of that writing. But as several experts on military aircraft have pointed out on Twitter, there's nothing exceptional about the Marine helicopters in the video. They're typically used for moving around the president and staffs. The HMX-1 MV-22s ferry around the White House staff and whatever. So is there nothing? Who is spreading the video online misspells the town Larkspur, just north of San Francisco. And while I couldn't independently confirm that aircraft are actually in that area that it was taken, it makes perfect sense the Marine they would be there. So he's going there to drum up support for the tech community. It's always a drill or an exercise, suggesting something nefarious is going on. Hello. The highway group on the highway in Idaho Falls. So let's look at this, you all. We want to look at this one. So this was on June 17th, you all, so we can listen to this one too. Let's watch it. No, see, you don't need military tanks in the streets. That's not normal. That is not normal. Military tanks in the streets is not normal. The only time I've seen military tanks was when I was in Berlin, Germany. And it's when the one Middle East war happened. It was in around 1989. And they had them all around our housing complex. They had a military tank like that parked in the center of our area where we lived in the housing, with a guy with a machine gun on top. They had one at the entrance. They had one in front of the commissary because there was a threat. They had them out. Let's look at this. So I can say right here, thank you, Guy Baker, for mentioning that, because I wanted to know where you heard it. So I do like to look at the comments if I've got a moment to do it without being disturbed. We've looked at that. So let's keep looking, you all. The video is most likely June the 14th when a military convoy. No. A military convoy, look at this. Doesn't matter. It doesn't. It came from Idaho Army National Guard's 1st 148th Field Artillery Regiment, scheduled to be on the streets. It was all publicly announced in advance, published by the local news. Well, let's see the local news. Military convoy will travel on Idaho Falls Road on Wednesday. I've never seen them travel here. You know what? Here's what we see. When we see military movement, those tanks are on a semi or a military transport truck. You're not in the streets. You don't go in the streets. No. That's just a little wild. Idaho Falls National Guard training area. It will consist of tracked and wheeled vehicles traveling at approximately 25 miles an hour. That's all you heard right there. That's it. That's it. Replay, Jay, that's probably right because the way the stuff is written. Someone said, which a lot of people speculate, AI is already running the world. What if it is? Okay. Again, it's not clear who this person is. If they did not want this person out there, whoever's put this person out there and has been making sure this stuff gets out there to the people, they got power. Okay, they have power to boost that. It's reasonable to talk about, it's perfectly reasonable to talk about the U.S. military presence in the lives of Americans. Is it? Is it personally reasonable? Then why aren't the local news stations talking about the military and saying how nice it is for the military? Why are they throwing up all this other stuff? If it's reasonable to talk about the U.S. military present in the lives of Americans, then why aren't you seeing them on the news? Why? The lives of, a soldier and their family, all these stuff they go through and things like that. How hard it is when you have to be separated from your spouse. You're stuck home with your children, and you have to raise your children by yourself, and you have to rely on the other military wives or other military spouses. You have to become family because your spouses are gone. They're gone. Why isn't the news? If it's just completely normal and reasonable, then they should be talking about it. It's not. I can't even remember a single time, all the years my husband was in the military, that we heard the local news or national news talking about military lives and what the military does. I don't. The only time I've seen anything about military in the news is when war was getting ready to occur or had occurred, or large deployments were taking place. That's the only time you're going to see it. That's right. Okay, that's it. That's the conversation. If you're just tuning in, this stemmed from a comment about this military stuff being in the streets. The video right here. These helicopters. Boom. And there have been a lot of comments. There's been a lot of comments lately about movements of military where they're at too. They've seen and heard a lot of military helicopters in the sky. And let's look at this. So this is viral video hypes the fears of military movements. No, there is military movements. It's awareness that is being raised. Okay, is what it is. There's some pictures. Northern California. Military is landing in suburban neighborhoods. And oh, Gina, honey, you have not done it now. I did do it now. Okay, I did it. Mark Pachal. I hope that's not true. I hope it's not. Yeah. It is. They've got to, they're increasing their presence. Yeah, thank you. I don't mind talking about that since 21 years of being around it. No, I don't mind. I can do it. I can do it. I can speak. I can speak about it. Breaking news. Idaho Falls. Never seen the tanks on the streets. They tear up the roads. Those tanks will tear up the roads, you all. Okay, what was it Eisenhower that declared the highways for a national emergency that has something to do with the military in times of emergencies? Does someone know that law? Because I remember that sticking out, the highways, and was it Eisenhower? And the highways declared Yes. Okay, we got it, you all. We have got it. We have got this covered. Okay, we have. Nothing is coincidental. It's not. Nothing. Okay. Nothing's coincidental. We're talking about this, and now we got the military tanks on the highway, and now we got Dwight D. Eisenhower, who made a deal with the extraterrestrial beings. Remember? Was that him? Was it someone else? And we're talking about Project Disclosure too. All this stuff has came out about the deep state, shadow government, and the horrendous atrocities that have been committed against the people. Now we're over here at the Federal Highway Act. President Dwight Eisenhower. America's interstate highway system set in motion to realization, embarking on a road trip following World War I, the first transcontinental motor thing. 8 months later, the Allies came, the bayonets. The World War was a motor transport at its starting port. 34 heavy cargo trucks, light delivery trucks, 15 War Department, you can see right here, setting out 6 miles per hour, enlisted. Look at that. See, he was a war commander. Ambrose, harrowing, dramatic. Come on, Allies. Now I want to talk about the highways. I'm not getting what I want. Yeah. Federal highways. All they have to do, you all they have to do is, since it's federal, they can shut the roads down, and you can be, when they shut the roads down, it'll happen. One day it's going to happen. When you see the military checkpoints, just like when we was in Berlin, we wanted to go visit East Berlin. They would take the bus. We all fell on the bus, and we all sit in our seats. We get to Checkpoint Charlie in Berlin. Let me pull up Checkpoint Charlie. So you can see what Checkpoint Charlie looked like. Let's see some images of it. In Berlin, Germany. This is not showing it that way. Okay. Checkpoint Charlie. It was in East Berlin. You get on your bus and you go there. And yeah, okay, you go to Checkpoint Charlie. And you take your military ID and you hold it up on this. You look straight ahead. Every military member, when you visited East Berlin, you had to be in your military dress, your military uniform, and you could take your family with you, but everybody looks straight ahead. You hold your ID straight up against the window, and the Russian person in charge of that, he took the names of every single person and walked. And when you came out, the same thing. You look straight ahead, you hold that up, and then you go into East Germany, East Berlin. So there's something going on, you all. Let's look back over here. Hello. Are we in here? You are in the woods. Yeah, okay. What was you saying, Gina? Well, they when they shut the road down, they will set up checkpoints. There will be military checkpoints along the way. Now listen, this is important, you all. You really need to understand this. When those military checkpoints are set up, let me see if I can get a picture of a military checkpoint. This is a military checkpoint. Right there. Checkpoint ahead. Slow down. They can erect walls like this. They can. They can close down roads. They can. What will happen to you when you storm a military checkpoint? Well, that's quite simple. If you storm a military checkpoint, that's it. You're in trouble. You're in trouble. Some more pictures. Oh, Gina, that's a video game. Is it just a video game? Well, the people who are playing video games, well, you already know what's coming. When you see something like this, checkpoints in Mexico, stop, checkpoint, headlights off. When you go into a military base, when you're coming to the front gate and it's dusk or nighttime, you are to dim your lights when you go into it. Turn your lights off, leave only your fog lights on. You go up to the gate because they got great big spotlights too. And sometimes they check your military ID. Well, now when you go into, like say when we go to Fort Knox, here's what they do. They got these new up-to-date scanners where they just scanned my husband's military ID and they'll look at mine, but it has everything on it. They're trying to get as many military retirees up to date with this new ID thing that they're putting out there. And it looks like a regular driver license now. There's no different colors, no green, no beige, no orange, no nothing. It's like a biometric more or less ID card. Yeah, that's right, Jennifer, honey. Your ASS is GRASS. That's right. You all. That is exactly right. That's what's going to happen. But this is a military checkpoint. And if you have not been acclimated, if you play video games, you're going to be acclimated to this. You are. You are. And they are military police. Okay, Gina, would you please say what you're okay? Now, I'm just going to use the example, a real world example, when we was in Germany, West Berlin, Germany, when they had martial law for the military in our little bitty area housing. When we step out of our housing complex, these great big duplex buildings, and right then and there is when you see the Army tank just right across. Probably had around 7 or 8, at least 2 in each housing complex with the guy on the top. And they have a military guy outside with his machine gun outside your complex area too. You walk out. You go to the corner, you turn, and then as we walked down the road, there was a little school. Everything was 15-minute cities. There was the school that our children would go to. Mine was too little. My daughter was only like 2. They had school buses. They had Army trucks, all military vehicles. They completely made a barricade around the whole entire school. Is what they did. Justice, Missouri. Thank you, honey. Yeah, hello. They had buses and military vehicles surrounding it, so nothing, because they thought there's a threat against the military in Germany. And when we got to the commissary, you don't get in. You hold up your ID. Now, they normally do this, but it was even more so. You hold it up. You go in. You come out. You want to go into your housing complex. You hold up your military ID before you can even enter your housing complex. And they got the guys with their guns. And before you even go into your building, you have to show your ID. Even though they know you live there, they designated the most senior person in that housing thing to be the one who made sure your face and matched you. It didn't matter if he knew you lived there or she knew you lived there. If you didn't show it, you don't get in the building. You don't. Now, Gina, what are you trying to say? I'm supposed to be thinking when you're going down the road. Now, this is really important, y'all. When you see this happening and say you want to travel, just like during the COVID thing, They didn't want nobody out on the road. It's just during ice storms. Nobody's out on the road. If they catch you out on the road during an emergency thing, you're going to get a ticket. But with military, say you want to go somewhere and you're traveling a little bit, maybe 30 or 40 minutes from your house. Say, well, I want to go visit whatever, my daughter. Well, and say, well, let's see your driver's license, and your driver's license address does not match that address of the place that you want to go. I don't know if you're going to get to go there. Okay, I'm not. You know, when my mother lived here, she had mail that came to my house. Now you really listen. They had the mail that came to my house with the address, and I still have that type of mail. I give it to my mother. I said, Mom, if anything occurs where you're at, down there when I go visit her, and you need to get out of the city, you've got to have this proof that you live there. This is your other home right here. Even though your driver's license may say that you live in this place, you need a proof. Now, that is official mail. Okay, it is from the United States Post Office. Show them that's where you live, and hopefully that will get you through. Don't be planning on going to somebody's house and you ain't got official mail with your name on it. Even when you go get your ID done, remember when you go to the driver's license, get your driver's license, you have to have a picture ID. You have to have official thing saying that you live there, some type of mail with your address on it and your name saying that you live there. You better make sure you have that handy. Don't be thinking you're going to go somewhere. You better have your name with an address so you can go to your destination. Okay, that'd be very smart, you all. And, yeah, because you got to get out of the city. You ain't going to get no far. You ain't going to get that far at all, because that's going to be unnecessary travel that you're doing. Have some official piece or a couple mail with your address on it. Something. Come on, you all. Don't play around. They will not let you through. They're not going to let you through. You're not going to sneak either. They're going to have the drones flying around probably. Gina, would you please stop it? I'm just telling you. That's what I've done for my mother. You take this piece of mail right here, or a couple pieces of mail, so you can, when they set it up, martial law. This is military.com right here. This article came out March the 19th of 2023. Everything you need to know about martial law, they're telling you everything you need to know. My phone has done a loop. I am so sorry, you all. It has, and I don't know what's going on here. Surrounded by radar. Everybody, we're all on their radars. FEMA camps. They can erect camps anywhere. They can take over buildings. Have y'all seen those great big industrial parks that they have up? All these businesses in these industrial parks. They're beige buildings, this super high. The windows are way at the top. There's no eye-level windows. No, they're way at the top. And if you've worked in one of those buildings, it's complete concrete floor, and then they set up their operations and things like that. They got big bathrooms, but not as many as you would like. And all different types. Some of the buildings in the industrial parks, they have a great big entrance with windows all around that curved. Not all of them, but some of them. And what if in times of emergency those businesses are completely they shut down? There are some that are already closing down, and you're getting empty spaces in these industrial parks. What if that becomes a way to where the people get sent in there too? What if? They're easy to control, like the big Amazon fulfillment centers and things like that too. Yeah. Yeah. Gina, would you please? You're not telling. Well, I am just taken aback. Eisenhower, it's this right here, the viral video. Here's what happened. People were standing out here. This happens on Twitter. I want you to look at it right here. It's not a drill. bribery, all of this kind of stuff happening with the deep state. See this one. This is another one. The tanks are on the highways. They'll tear up the highways. That's what they'll do. Mark Google News last night. Oh, I've heard about that, Jade Helm. It's real, Wolfie. Everything is carefully planned out. Yeah, you don't do anything without carefully planning everything out. And timing is everything. And on July the 1st, the CBDCs, they're going to start initiating that too. Then you got July the 4th coming. Look. Join the conversation. They haven't started the conversation yet. They haven't. And that was the Twitter, right here, the Twitter account. 339,700 views. If you haven't seen this video, scroll my feed. People are sending me videos from all over. Okay, Derek, honey. We want to see them. And you can see that. The newspaper reported national response drills between the 12th and 16th of June with municipalities. Listen to this. Your struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. And look, municipalities. Municipalities. So, wow. Nothing, Burger. It's conditioning. It's always a drill until it's not. Larkspur. 30-minute drive from the state capitol, so anything is possible. An hour from Edwards. It is conditioning. You ought to get used to it. You see a great big... Oh, let's see this, you all. We want to see this one, too. Yes, let us see this. Let's start it over. There really is a lot more activity taking place. That's a weird one right there. That does anyone know what this one tank is? Not. What's on the top of those things right there, you all? Is it machine guns? On the top of those tanks? Because I'm not familiar with those. Yeah, the Blow 95, and that's, I've been on 95. That's a very busy road. When we lived in Maryland, my husband had to work up toward Baltimore. Okay, we've got that Bakersfield, California. One spotted me when I was trimming to talking about drones or stuff, you all. His helicopters are landing for practice. It's always a drill. Operation Dark Winter. Have you all heard of that? Operation Dark Winter. I'm not going to play that. Or this. Yeah, they can come in your house. They'll kick your door down. Is what they'll do. A few are in Pennsylvania. Mass movements. They're very dangerous to fly. Okay, let's see this. Any more? Wow, that is massive, you all. Look at that, how massive it is. Oh, yes, that's right. Cyber Polygon. We looked at that on this YouTube channel. was one of the things that the World Economic Forum said was going to happen is the cyber polygon. Every day in Pennsylvania, military exercises every day. Trains carrying tanks. Wow, when you start seeing the movements of that. They're up next, you all. That's what it all stems from. This alien invasion, this extraterrestrial small little grays. Training schedules in Larkspur, California. Their training schedules are available online. Okay. Summer camp military training in San Antonio causes some property. That's on the 22nd. Damage to, yeah, okay, we got it. Okay, you all. We've got it. Okay, that's enough of this, you all. But there is an article on military.com. It's what you need to know, everything you need to know about martial law. It's not specifically defined in the U.S. Constitution, but it's the use of military personnel to dramatically assist and completely replace a nation's normal legal system in times of emergency. Troop use, posse comitatus. Dwight Eisenhower used federal troops to enforce school integration. Lyndon Johnson to quell riots. President Nixon to stop anti-war. George Bush to troops to end the looting. Clinton, aid of a religious siege in Waco, Texas. George Bush looting following Katrina. Obama, occupation of national wildlife by extremists. Trump during the racial unrest. The Insurrection Act. What is the process of posse comitatus? Mobilizing the National Guard. What can they do? Domestic duties related to national defense. That's what they can do. They can assist civilians. They have limitations, but it's a broad category. You want to know more? You got to go look at it, you all. So there's something going on. There really is. And if you look right here, what is this? Framed answer today. Here's the solution. 5 rights. You want to know the rights you're going to lose? Let's see what you're going to lose if it happens, you all. It's, oopsie. What happened to this thing, you all? We want to know what we're going to lose. And one you'll still have. It's a preppers. Any declaration of martial law in the United States is an obvious symptom that something bad has happened. Something bad has happened, you all. Perhaps society has really been society altering right there. Look at that. And you've seen that about the yellow jackets in, what was it, Britain or something? Or, I don't know. Visions of people being dragged out of their homes, held without cause. That's what the deep state does. That's what they did. They would hold you without cause, arrest you. Random checkpoints all around the place, searches. It won't be done by police officers, instead by uniformed soldiers operating out of camouflage, and or you may see the United Nations. Your Bill of Rights. It strikes at the heart which guarantees our inborn rights as Americans, the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Is it true? Would our military uniform protectors actually trample on our rights? It's a grave situation. Yeah, they probably would. How bad would it be, you all? Martial law defined. It is declared at the federal level. And you know what's really interesting? Let me see. I think some. I did a video on this. Right here. There was a hypothetical thing. See, this was a book. A chilling story from something, a visitor from space. You see this? Right here, we've been talking about UFOs. Well, there's a civics class teaching civics. I've done an article on that. I've done several YouTube videos, and this was done a while back. Students are asked to evaluate and rank their Bill of Rights in a hypothetical invasion by a visitor from outer space. Students are to complete ranking them, and they are to apply prior knowledge about the meaning and importance of their rights and stuff like this. This was something that literally gets hidden on my YouTube channel. You put the students in the groups and you do that, and they got to discuss. Look, have each group discuss the rights, the Bill of Rights, and select 5 rights that you wish to keep, and remind them that they have limited time if they fail to choose. If you fail to choose, this visitor from outer space will choose for you. This is a hypothetical thing they did. Why would they even do something like that? And they had to rank it. They asked about the consequences of keeping or losing particular rights, and they needed to understand it. Look, and then during the discussion, you can ask the students to reflect on what each right means today. This is really something right here. Look, I'm going to get my face out of the way. Ask if their new rulers would have the same interpretation. Would the aliens understand the right to privacy in the same way as we do? Would they? Would they understand it the same right as we do? This was a visitor from space. And this also was, let me put this, I'm going to put this link here. I'm going to drop it in the live stream right down here. Copy it so you can read it. Why would they even have a class like that? Ask yourself why. And there was another one. Okay, you remember the one thing that was classified, the classified bill. Other aliens. I don't know. Flesh eating. Remember that? The classified bill. It defends against flesh eating. Let's go to Snopes. Look. PolitiFact. Did Congress just warn of a zombie attack? Okay, so let's go to Snopes because they're going to have it. I don't like Snopes. I don't believe in Snopes. I used to, but I don't. But I'm going to go here because they have the thing right here. Of course, they don't have the video available. They got rid of the YouTube account that was associated with it. We're going to read it. Apparently, this Representative John Haller is reviewing a bill voted on, H.R. 8791, Homeland Terrorism Preparedness Bill. Now, we just saw the civics class, you all, that was taught, A Visitor from Space, and they have books, A Visitor from Space. If a visitor from space would occur, yeah. And this specifically is going to talk about the Bill of Rights. So pay close attention to what is said between 55 and 114 seconds of the video. Very strange, classified spewing, classified flesh eating, Air Force to be used to combat classified because of their enormous size and otherworldly strength. Someone thought, show proof that it was doctored. Okay. They said that this person really never existed, but we're going to read it. Representative Haller's reading of the H.R. 8791 doesn't state exactly how much money the bill seeks. This would be one of those disclosure project things, one of these bills, one of these fundings, this deep state, this dark state. Hypothetically speaking, this never even happened. This is all make-believe. No such person ever existed or anything. Okay, we got it. This is the reason. This is it. Congress shall now vote for approval, he's reading it, of H.R. 8791, the Homeland Terrorism Preparedness Bill. As said, the bill will request emergency response funding up to and including, I'm sorry, this section is classified, dollars to prepare for a national level terrorist attack or an attack from classified. Funding for the first responder personnel and vehicles would be doubled if said attack leads to more than 80% of national population being affected by classified. This funding shall commence with the first attack on classified or the first large-scale outbreak of classified. Dependent upon which comes first, the civilian and military units shall be trained in containment and combat of classified, including irradiated classified, with the possibility of classified, airborne classified, flesh-eating classified, and or all of the above in such an event as classified, spewing classified, escape, are released or otherwise become uncontrollable. Air Force units may also be directed to combat said classified due to their enormous size and otherworldly strengths. Should the event occur in urban areas, Jesus, that's classified, far surpassing our darkest nightmares. Should casualties exceed classified, body disposal actions shall be halted and associated resources shall be reallocated to classified, underground classified, protected birthing centers. A new Bill of Rights shall be drafted and approved by classified. Having now reviewed the bill, I ask you to please cast your votes. Why would they talk about a new Bill of Rights, and why would they have a civics class about a visitor from space, and why would we even be talking about a zombie apocalypse? Why would stuff like this be out there? They said that this Onion, this was just a satire. Was it just a satire? Let me put this on here, you all. So you can, I'm going to put this on there. You can have the two things that I put on here, because they do correspond with one another, and we have been talking about the atrocities that were committed by you-know-what, the deep states, and you're going to lose. Look. And look at this. 5 rights that you're going to lose under martial law. June the 14th, 5 rights that you're going to use. Yes. They'll take your old junk car that you think, well, I'm not going to have an updated car. I'm going to have one that does like this. They'll take it. That's right. They will take it, GP3. So they've got it. Domestic abuse and employment of military troop is common occurrence for disaster relief. The martial law and habeas corpus will be suspended. It will require a person under arrest to be brought before a judge into a courtroom if they feel they've been unlawfully. You will have no recourse of a typical court. Your First Amendment, your freedom of speech and assembly. This is what's wave goodbye to this. Look, the good news, it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there, you all, it says. Here are some other rights of the Bill of Rights. You can expect to be penciled out while living under martial law. You need to wave goodbye to it. That's what they said. The First Amendment, the freedom of speech, assembly, and the press. The right to bear arms. The Third Amendment, the freedom from housing soldiers. The Fourth Amendment, protection for unreasonable search and seizures. The Fifth Amendment, protection to life, liberty, and property. Yeah, you can house soldiers in your house during that time. Now, don't be surprised if you see that, and I'm being serious. Do not be surprised if you see something like this occurring. You should absolutely expect your freedom of speech as well as your freedom of the press to be harshly curtailed by martial law. Citizens agitating against the government or publishing politically charged media that inflame the crisis will be stopped. I gotta have a drink. You will be considered a domestic terrorist. You can expect door-to-door searches and seize for firearms. They can do that. New Orleans did it. Expect to have all your holdings. Your government and military thanks you for cooperation, citizens, and they remind you that you're complaining and your resistance to order your volunteerism is a crime. In keeping with the theme of the new ownership over civic property, absolutely expect to have all of your holdings searched and inspected at any time for any reason. Don't be rioting and dissenting, you all. You're going to be in trouble. And preppers who have laboriously and meticulously accumulated preps of food, medical supply, and other provisions can see them confiscated. Yes, you sure can, for greater good by the military personnel. Imagine all your time and effort, you all, that you spent ahead to prepare to be ready for some of the goons. March in and they'll take it away. They can, you all. They can take it away. Your life is about to get a whole lot worse and a lot more orderly, whether you want it to or not. And you will have a curfew. There are curfews, you will. There's curfews on military bases. You can't be outside past, what was it, 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. If you don't like to be controlled, then this is not going to bode well for you. It is not going to bode well at all. You're going to have to learn to adapt according to your conscience. Or I don't know what's going to happen to you, y'all. We really do. You're going to have to make some decisions. You really are. Movement in around the affected area will be watched, curtailed, and halted. You may be expected to check in with the local authority for any number of reasons. Yeah, they want to see your ID. They can stop you. Where? Let me see your ID. Are you who you say you are? Things will look awfully totalitarian under martial law, but there is glimmer of hope. They warred against the government in times of past. In all criminal persecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial and stuff. Yeah, so habeas corpus and all of this, what does it mean? All of that, you all. Did I stick this under there? Let me stick this under there. You can look at this too. Gina, you're going to get yourself in trouble. I always get myself in trouble. This is nothing new. It's nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun. Really, there isn't. It stands to reason. The best response to martial law, if you want to remain undetained and not get beaten up, is to go along and don't make trouble. Stay out of sight. And generally, they will not be a pain in your ASS, okay? They will not be. If you're a peaceful person and you're living a peaceful life and something like this happens and you're still able to live your peaceful life, then I'm very happy for you. I really am very happy for you. If you're forcibly relocated or your house is taken over by the government, what would you do if your arms and your supplies are being seized, either for security or redistribution? What would you do? I don't know. I know what a lot of people would say, over my dead body. They would, over my dead body. But then people say, you know what, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. They would say it. To each their own, you all. If you have the misfortune of being living in a major urban area and martial law is declared, you'll need to make a choice quickly. It's unlikely in any event that it will lead to a serious totalitarianism or abuse. History has furnished too many examples of that happening to us to ignore. You'll have only a certain time, a reactionary time, to enact your escape plan, you all, before the area gets totally locked down and movement becomes too difficult or impossible. That's very true. You will have an amount of reactionary time, only a certain amount, before it gets totally locked down. When they shut down those highways, you think, well, I'll just take the back roads. Well, all back roads are going to somehow lead to a main highway. They are. If you are unwilling to leave, you should just try to abide by the way things are the best you can. It's unlikely to go on forever unless the entire nation is in jeopardy. So there you have it. Don't risk it. If you can get away to quiet pastures, if you can, to abide and hang on to as much stuff as you can, you all. So boom, it could happen. 5 rights you're going to lose under the martial law. You can see it. You can see it, you all. Gina, that's enough on this subject. It is totally enough on this subject. It is, but it is a extreme possibility in our ever-changing world. And the flesh-eating disease, the classified, and the visitor from outer space. The visitor from space. What if they come up from underground? Really, what if they do? What if it's a fake alien invasion? What if we all of a sudden have a catastrophic mutating event and something happens? People turn into zombies and stuff like that, you all. What if, Gina, you're full of a lot of what ifs. We live in a sci-fi world now. We really do. And it's okay to think of the what ifs. Gina, are you going to live your life like that? No, I'm not. I'm going to continue to do what I do. My awareness is raised, but I'm going to enjoy my life to the fullest. Enjoy your life, you all. Get that. Just forget about that for the moment and enjoy your life. You can do it. You can enjoy your life to the fullest right now. Make the best of it and prepare. however you want to. Yeah, right there. Get prepared on the inside right here, you all. That's where you need to get prepared first and foremost. That way you can think clearly up here. And if you feel like you want to get supplies and stuff like that, go ahead and do it. Just be careful. Don't go overboard. You don't want to be labeled. You don't want to be labeled. You don't. So I'm going to go. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, moderators. Thank you all for all your comments. And it's really something to think about. There should not be things like that on the road. They tear up the road worse than farming equipment. They tear the pavement up unless they've got some new tracks on them that don't do it. But what good would that be? Yeah, I'm going to go. So with that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello, from my heart to yours. Love you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And it's a beautiful Sunday, whether you realize it or not. And let that beauty start from on the inside of here. Because you just got through watching this YouTube channel. You just got through interacting with your friends and your loved ones on here. Our big cyber family of love. That's right. It should make a difference in your day. And hopefully that you got a little bit of fill up in your love tank. He did. Thank you for everyone who has joined this channel. And yeah, so have a wonderful